I'm going to make a Japanese knot bag. You can get the pattern now, it's in the description. Come along and make your own knot bag out of your favorite material. I'm going to use these two fabrics to make my giant Japanese knot bag. I'm going to use the red plain cotton as a lining and a drill checkered fabric as the outside of the bag or the shell. I have 1 meter of each, which is about a yard. These are both really strong, durable fabrics. That is just plain cotton, plain woven, dyed red. This is a drill, so if you think of denim, if you have a pair of jeans, it's probably woven with a drill weave, which is a nice, thick, durable weave. And because we're making a giant Japanese knot bag, we're going to use some tough fabric. Usually these knot bags are made like a handbag. They're kind of small and pouchy, but we're making a giant one that can hang from your shoulder and is the size of a tote with the durability and strength of a tote as well. Hence the drill fabric. Haven't actually used the pattern because of this print on the fabric. I've got this checkerboard print, so I've been using that as my guide. Of course, I've got the pattern and I printed it out, and when I let it down, I found that things were coming quite close to sort of halfway points and everything for this particular checkerboard print. And that's the great thing, because all the measurements are written there on the pattern for you. If you have something that you want to have cut in a specific way, so for me, I'm trying to match these up. I'll see how I go, but I'm trying to make sure that the two layers come together. And so I've positioned it so it's a bit more uniform, but you might have a big picture here or something like that. You can do that, and literally I just have tape and a ruler and some chalk, and because it's all just squares and a little bit of a curve here, it's very easy to trace out without using the pattern. So if you don't want to print, or you don't have a printer, a lot of people don't, this is a fantastic pattern for you, because you can use the measurements and draw them on, because they're all big rectangles. And then here we've got a bit of a curve, and I just joined it like that. So I came through like this. Can you see? Yeah, you can. With something round. So this is the top of my pin pot, but you could use the top of a cup or something like that. And what I'm going to do is cut this out. So I've got my 4 layers. I've got 2 lining, 1, 2, and I've got 2 self or main fabric, depending on what you call it, but 2 of the fabric that the bag will be. And then I want to have them all lining nice and straight like that, and then cut out the top. And cut the short handle off as well. There's some pretty good little patches there that, if you wanted to, I've got it in the pattern as well, using these to put pockets inside your bag. So you can turn these into a fantastic little pocket if you want, and you've got obviously self and lining to do so. So you can, it's really simple to do. And it's outlined in the pocket, but in the pattern. But you sort of want to find where your hand goes to, make a pocket around that size. And then we affix this to the lining before we sew the bag. So I'll show you how to do that. And I'm going to use a red bit on the lining, so on the inside of it. And I'm going to use this as my guide, because I do love symmetry. So that is that gap there. So the same distance from here to the bottom is the size of the pocket, and the pocket will be folded back and turned around there, or you can just overlock or overcast around here and then placed inside the bag on the lining before it's all put together. And you could put as many pockets as you like in here. You could put 3, 4, you could put a pocket inside a pocket. You've got a lot of fabric here to work with. And if you're not going to use them for that, then you've got some great quilting materials. You've got some really great little resources there that you can use. Right, that's it cut. The bag will look like this. I think it's going to look spectacular in this Edo style checkerboard with the red. There's the pocket bag. Very simple pocket bag. You clip around here just to be able to help that turn back. So I just clipped in by about 1/4 of an inch, 1/2 centimeter. Very simple to do, and then turn this twice. Like that. And I'll run a quick edge stitch down the top. So feel free, if you want, you could literally festoon the inside of your bag with pockets and have one for every single conceivable thing you need it for. Very cool little device that is. I'll pin it into place. I chose this quite randomly just because it's sort of about a hand from the top, so when you're going in from the top it'll be there. You could put it all the way down here into the sides, it's up to you, but I think that's a good spot there. There you go. So there's your pocket bag. Perfect little addition. Next thing we're doing is putting right sides together. We'll join them here and here at the handle. The same with the lining fabric. Now what we're doing is marrying the lining with the self. So we're putting the two fabrics together in the center here, like this. And then I'm going to sew around here with a 1 centimeter or 1/2 inch seam allowance. Now, while it's all flat and lovely like this, I'm going to clip in to these curves so that I can press it really well. That's going to make it easier to turn these back when we press it all through to the other side. So it's all clipped around there, And then what we're doing is we're turning it through like this though. And now we want to press these parts back. See, so we're going to press that back and then we can understitch. So go along and understitch here to hold that in. So you see, we've pressed that back and we're going to sew that back. But we're getting it to the point where it will then sit nice and flat back like this. And in order to do that, we need to come along and do an edge stitch from here, which in this case is actually called an understitch. So you're going around, all the way around like that. So we're doing an understitch. That just means that we make sure that all the seam allowance is now under the needle, so heading towards the lining this way. As you can see here, it's all heading that way. And I'm going to come down with an edge stitch all the way along here, and that's going to hold down the lining but also send it into the bag and keep it on that side. So that's what understitching does. You'll see this a lot on around the neckline of a blouse or a top. So we'll head off now and press this down again and then press it under. But you see it's already being trained under. So it knows what it has to do now. See here, you just sort of massage this seam into place. It will fall where it needs to go. It just needs to be rocked gently and it will find its spot. The other thing you notice is whenever possible, I'm pressing the entire bag. Trying to press everything I can at all times. The more you press anything when you're sewing, the better it will turn out. So every time you press, it's an opportunity to press other things, and you should. That is looking wonderful, isn't it? Now is the fun part. So arrange your bag so it's like this. This is the long handle on this side, and I'm going to be rolling this way first, because we've got a shorter side over here. And what we want to do is the burrito method. So anyone who's made a shirt or a singlet will understand. We roll like that up to that point. Now you should have notches here and here. They are present. Get to this point, we bring the right side of this over and we flip everything and then bring our other right side down to meet it, and we pin from one notch to the other. Important part with this is to not have anything inside the burrito seam allowance. So obviously the burrito is full, but you want to have this space completely clear of all this, otherwise you'll catch it and it won't be able to be pulled through. But then we sew from A down to B. Very easy. Okay, clip that away. give just this seam a little press. Just a tiny little press, just to sort of finish that seam off. And then we pull the rest of the bag through from the other side. So you can see there, it's one side done. And that looks fantastic. So I'm going to go away and press that, and then we'll do the other side. So that's all pressed, looking lovely. Now, we burrito the other way. It's far longer, but we just need to make a curved burrito and we will be fine. So find your center point. And then find your notches. See that way? So it's a little bit more squashy this way, but it's just about sort of re-burritoing, I suppose, and finding that path down to the notch. Like that. And we'll do that bit, and then you sort of squeeze it to do the other bit, and it'll all come together. It looks a bit skew-iff, doesn't it? But you see you've got sort of two sections you can work on. Once that one's done, it's easy to do that one. So pull that taut to your center notch. And now find your other notch and pull that taut again. Do you see how that works? I'll give that a quick press just along the stitching, and then from here we unfurl the rest of the burrito. They're really good fun. There is a sort of panic at that point as you're starting to release it, and there's always a point where it feels like it isn't going to come through. You're like, alright, I've lost this, I've tied a knot, I don't know what I've done wrong, but it does. You just have to persevere and keep pulling the thing through, and it will come through for you. So I'm going to press this now nice and flat. There's your other arm. They are looking wonderful. I'll press this flat and then we'll deal with closing the bag. That is looking good. Doesn't it look fantastic? Look at those incredible handles that we've got. Amazing. We haven't got long to go now. All we're doing now is putting the bag together. So what we do is we bring the big squares just like this together. I'll get that sort of out of the way, but we're putting, I'll do this part first. We're getting to those notches that we came to with our sewing earlier, and you sew the bag together. So I'll pin it together and show you what we're talking about. There we go. So I'm going to sew from this corner down and then into the middle, and I'm going to leave a gap there to pull everything through. Then I'll sew from here up to the top, and I'll stop right here at the stitching. Then I'll do the bag, the lining, and I'll go all the way around because everything's going to be pulled out from there. So this one is a continuous line on the lining. This one has a gap on the main fabric. Give a good sort of, give 4 inches or so you can pull everything through, about 10 centimeters. All the way up into this little bit here. Now we'll go around the lining. So that should look something like this. Two inside-out bags looking kind of funny. So we start by giving this good press on the work we just did. So you get the corner and you open it the other way so the seam's going up and over across. Bring your seams together and you'll feel the little notches that we put in, and you'll end up with a line. Join it up. So when you hold the notches together, you've got a line across, and that should be about 6 centimeters or 2 1/4 inches. And we sew straight across there. You see, we've created these little notches here, and they'll create the flat bottom bag. Now we pull through from the other side. So you see we've got a wonderful flat bottom there, and we're going to do a little stitch here once it's all in place. It's up to you how you want to do this. The best way to do it, of course, is by needle and thread. My inspiration for this combination, which is pretty wild, comes from the Edo period in Japan and the amazing woodblock prints. During the Edo period, there was a kabuki actor who was famous for wearing a checkered obi. And he actually not only wore it in the woodblock prints to promote it, but he also sold them. Very canny. And the red is inspired by Benny Red, the most expensive red dye in Japan in the Edo period. It was used as a lining because you had to hide it. It was so extravagant you'd get in trouble for wearing it. I like the red lining going under the super fashionable checkerboard. And here it is. Isn't that amazing? With that little glimpse of the red through it. I've got my things stuffed inside here to sort of show you and bulk it out. Show you why we put those little plates in to make this a flat bottom bag. It's incredibly useful, but also incredibly hard wearing. And there is your giant Japanese knot bag. You can get the pattern now, it's in the description. Come along and make your own knot bag out of your favourite material. I'm Kimono Alex. This is House of Kimono. Follow me for everything about kimono.